Yes, sir.
I hope you still remember what we talked about in the last class. You
No,
remember it?
sir, we don't remember.
You don't remember? You don't
Yes, sir.
remember anything?
So other teachers give us a lot of work, therefore we don't remember.
Right. So if you remember, we talked about the paper, right? Uh, the that listening question, that how
Yes, sir.
exam
Yes, sir.
can ask you question
Now
in.
we
Yes, sir. Yes,
remember.
sir.
Look, this paper is a little bit confusing, right? Because if you see your course description, I mean the contents, okay, the course outline is like different. The
Yes, sir.
description says that we have to practice listening skills and speaking skills. But when it comes to
Yes.
examination, in
Yes,
the
sir.
exams, they will ask you what are the strategies of listening and what is effective speaking. How can you speak? How can you improve your speaking and listening skills? So you have to be prepared for that as well. Do you get it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. So one is the practical usage, and one is that you have to prepare yourself for exams as well. So,
Yes,
so if you see,
sir.
we don't have like a course kind of or a book which will tell you how to improve your listening skill or speaking skill. There are so many things. Whatever you have been doing all these years, right? Like for 13 or 12 years, if you have learning this language, so mostly teachers, they teach you how to improve your listening and speaking skills. And it really requires a lot of time. Like there isn't any book that if you read it and it will improve your speaking skills. Do you understand this?
Yes, sir.
So yes, the speaking and listening skills, it requires time, and whatever you have been doing all these years, it was like to improve your speaking and listening skill. So yes, let me
Yes.
admit all other students and then we will start, right? So if you remember, we
Oh,
talked about this listening skill, and I've also uploaded that video as well. So you should watch that video and you should make your notes, because if you see in exams, they will ask you about this active listening. What is active listening? What are the problems in listening? So they can ask you these general question about listening skills and then speaking skill as well. Do you get my point?
yes, sir.
I even shared a paper with you, if you remember. You remember that, right?
Yes, sir. We remember.
I think
Yes,
all
sir.
of you are sleeping. You're not active. See, if you like, we remember we talked about this listening skills, that it can improve your listening skills if you are active, right? Like if you give feedback, it will improve your listening skills. So all or you are not active at the moment, ask me questions. If you have any question about this course, you can ask me now. Like we will wait for other students, then we will start the class. But if there is any question, you can ask me right now. If there is any confusion about the paper, that what sort of questions will be in the paper, like we should not have a paper for this subject. We should like take listening and speaking
Interview,
test.
sir.
Ji?
Sir, it should be like interview, not paper.
Yes, exactly. It should be like this. But again, if you see, you have to attempt a paper. They cannot, like the Peshawar University cannot come and interview you for the final exams. So what they will
Yeah.
do is that they will make a paper and you will like attempt a paper. So in paper they will ask you
Assalamualaikum, sir.
question, and that will be kind of written questions. Walaikum assalam. So ask me questions if you have any sort of question you can ask me. Yes.
Sir,
Sir, tell us about the
public,
paper, sir.
I told you about the paper. You remember that in the previous lecture we talked about the paper. I even shared a model paper with you guys.
Yes. It
Yes,
will be
sir.
online or physical, sir?
Now what I'm saying and what are you are asking, you don't you listen to me. I don't know whether it's
Sir, I
online or
came right now, sir.
so that doesn't matter whether it's online or it's physical. That's not the problem,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
The problem is with the, let me share this with you. Now you have the course description, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Now, if you see the course description and this paper pattern is totally opposite kind of, right? See, this is the paper. Do you see it on your screen? This is Peshawar
Yes,
University's
sir.
midterm
Yes.
paper.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
This is Peshawar's University midterm paper. So this is the model paper, right? Now, if you see
Yes,
the
sir.
question number one, discuss in detail the role of active listening in effective communication. See, this is kind of an essay type question that they are asking you what is active listening and what is the role of active listening in communication. So you already know that, right? That active listening is very, very important in communication. Like you cannot be a good communicator if your listening skill is weak. So you need to understand what is active listening skill, and we talked about it, right? We talked about it in detail, how to improve your listening skill, what are the problems of listening skills, right? What are the internal distraction, what are the external distraction? We already talked about it, right? Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes. Yes,
Sir,
Samir.
you had given us the voice recording, sir. So do we have the same questions in the exam as well?
No, no. See, that is what I've been telling you, that in exams they cannot ask you about these voice messages. Who will check your voice messages? It's impossible, right? They cannot come and interview you. That is again a different thing. So a midterm is up to me that I will conduct midterm. So don't worry about midterm, but for final exams, we should prepare all these questions which they will ask you in exams. So the final term will be different, right?
Yes,
And
sir.
if you see, I've shared this model paper with you. Do you see it on your screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Now, this
Yes, sir.
is, I don't know whether you understand it or not, but if you see your course description says that the students should learn how to be a good speaker, how to be a good listener, right? That is the course description. That should be our objective. But if you see here, the questions are different, right? They are asking you
Yes,
how
sir.
one should be a good listener. Now, everybody knows that how can you be a good listener if you listen attentively, right? If you give feedback. So you already know these are very general kind of question. Everybody can answer this question. Even if you're not a good listener, you can answer this question. So
Yes, sir.
I
Excuse
personally
me, sir.
think that the examination, like the paper for this course should be practical, right? Like for example, they should interview you for speaking skill, and they should give you audio for listening skills, and then ask you question at the end of the lesson. So what we will be doing is the writing, like this is kind of a writing course that they are asking
Ratta
you
system, sir.
to write these essays, huh?
Sir,
Excuse me,
sir,
sir.
it is the Ratta system.
Yes,
We
of
cannot
course. This
learn them like this.
exactly very good. Now you understand. See, like the way we teach grammar to our students, what we teach them is the definitions, right? In schools
Yes,
and in
sir.
college, you have learned how to define verb, how to define adjective, what is adverb, what is preposition, what is conjunctions. You have learned all these things in every class, every year, You learn these definitions, and then what happens is that go to exams, and in exams they ask you what is a verb. So everybody has like memorized the definition and they go and write it in the paper. But that doesn't make you a good speaker. That doesn't make you a good writer. What will make you a good writer? When you go and write essay in your paper, when you go and write a story in your paper, right?
Yes, sir.
That is the practical
Yes.
stuff. So if you can use verbs in your writing, that should be our objective. Our objective should not be this to memorize the definitions, but now, this time you are studying these grammar courses or this English 1 or English 2 or English 3, and you are studying it as like you are a BS English student, right? So English students study it in a different way, because tomorrow you might get a chance to teach this listening and reading or speaking skills. So you will be in a better position to teach your students. So this is basically what I'm teaching you, is how to teach listening skill or how to teach speaking skills. Do you get it now?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
So, is there any question or should I start the lecture?
Sir, beside
No, sir.
listening skill and speaking skill, is there anything in paper like sir, tenses or grammar
No,
or anything?
but we have done that as well. So if they ask you about the tenses, you should know different tenses, because we talked about it. I even taught you what conjunctions are. We talked about different sentence structures, and we will be talking about these kind of things, because like how can you be a good speaker if you don't know grammar? So you should know grammar as well, right? Okay,
Yes,
Yes,
so
sir.
sir.
let me start. So today we'll talk about this speaking skills, okay? If you remember in the previous class, we talked about the speaking skills, and then we had a problem with connectivity, so we left it in the middle, right? So we will start this lecture today, okay? And that is speaking skills. Do you see it on your screen now,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
right? So why we are doing it? So that we can attempt the paper as well, because in paper they will ask you these questions, right? So one should not memorize these thing whatever I'm teaching you right now, but you should have a little bit knowledge about what speaking skills are, how to improve your speaking skills, because they might ask you these questions in the paper, right? So if you see listening skills, right, like we studied these four different skills: reading, writing, speaking, and listening. So if you see in this course, right, in this semester, you are only concentrating on listening skills and speaking skills. So we talked about listening skill in detail, okay, the problems or the distraction in listening skills, how to improve listening skills. We talked about that one. So today we are talking about speaking skills. Now, what are speaking skills? How can you improve your speaking skills? Now if you see these, there are like some skills. Number one is fluency, okay? Now you know what fluency is, right? Yes.
In,
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
yes, sir.
Yes, you
Normal
know that.
speaking.
Huh? Yes.
To speak
Speak
without
like
any.
fluently, sir.
Sir,
Yes,
being
speak
fluent in
When
fluent.
you
speaking,
speak
sir.
G.
slowly, sir.
Yes,
Being
you are right.
fluent in speaking.
Yes, like if you are fluent in speaking, like for example the ability to speak with the speed, accuracy, and proper expression, right? Like if you are comfortable
Yes,
talking, okay, and you talk without pauses, right? If that, so that is basically the speed, okay, and the accuracy and the proper expression, right? So the ability to speak uh, with proper expressions, okay, accuracy and the speed is called fluency. So all these things really matters while speaking. You must be fluent in all, like how can you be a good speaker if you're fluent? Number one. Now, what is fluent is also this, if how comfortable you are and how confident you are while speaking. And then vocabulary really matters. If you have enough vocabulary, okay. And then grammar is very important. Grammar means the sentence structures, right? The conjunctions, all part of speech. If you can use them um, correctly, okay, properly, you can be a good speaker. And then the last one is the pronunciation. So we will talk about these, what is fluency, what is, how can you speak comfortably, and how can you be confident. So we will talk about all these things, right? These will help you, these four or five skills. So you will practice these skills, right? So if you see, you have been studying this one, right? Vocabulary, right? You have studied it in the school, you have learned so many words. That is the reason that while I'm speaking to you guys, you understand, because you have enough vocabulary to understand, right? Sometimes it's difficult to speak or find the correct word while you are speaking to somebody. So, right, if your vocabulary is weak, you will not be able to convey whatever you think, okay, whatever you want to convey. So you need to have a strong vocabulary. So we will not talk about vocabulary here. Yes, like if you remember the few lectures we took and we studied this, these stories, right? The different type of stories we studied it. So why I was teaching you those stories, was stories because I wanted you to learn the vocabulary. And then we talked about sentence structure as well. I think we should not talk about sentence here. Okay, let me admit these other students, right? Just give me a minute. So yes, now in this class or in other semester, you will also have this English 2 subject, and then English 3 and 4 and 5. So remember, the teacher will not teach you grammar, remember, okay? Because you have already been like studying or learning these grammar and vocabulary in every class. You have already done that. And so, but I knew that you were having problem in sentence structure. So we talked about this grammar in detail. If you remember in the class, we talked about conjunctions as well. We talked about those conditional sentences. You remember that different type of
Yes, sir.
sentences, the compound
Yes, sir.
sentences, the complex sentences, right? The compound
State
and the
verbs.
complex state verbs and action verbs. We talked about that one because I thought that you had a problem with sentence structure. So if you see all these three, like if you want to be a good communicator, you must have command over these four or five things, right? You must be fluent, right? Fluency is very important. How comfortable and confident you are in speaking is called fluency, right? If you're comfortable and you're confident while speaking, that is the fluency, right? Now you need to have enough vocabulary. That is very important. You need to have a strong grammar, like the sentence structure, the conjunction part of speech, and then the pronunciation, how you pronounce the word, the standard pronunciation. So we will talk about these things. Another important thing is this like if you see this fluency, right, it comes with time, right, with the practice, the experience, right? So it really takes time. Remember that, like, you cannot be a fluent speaker in just a week or a month or a year. It really takes time, right? Do you understand me? So
Yes,
don't
sir.
worry if
Yes,
you're
sir.
not
Yes,
fluent.
sir.
If you there are people that they are very good writers, but they cannot speak fluent. Why? Because they have not practiced speaking. And if you remember, I told you that how can you be a good speaker while if you write every day, it will help you. Really, it will help your speaking skill. This is a new research that they say that if you write every day, it will improve your speaking. So we talked about how to improve your speaking, but I want for, like, in this lecture, we will talk about the main topic will be our this one, the fluency, right? So today we'll not talk about vocabulary again. Vocabulary is something that you learn while if you read, right? If you read every day, it will improve your vocabulary, right? If you write every day, Okay, it will improve your writing, and it will also help you your speaking as well. And then grammar is very important. There is no doubt, if you don't know the sentence structure, how will you be able to speak or write? So these four things, the fluency, the vocabulary, the grammar, and the pronunciation, really helps you in speaking, right? And it helps you in writing. Grammar and vocabulary helps you in writing as well. So I think you understood this one. But for now, in this class, we will talk about fluency, that how can you be a fluent speaker? What are the things you need to know? Okay, so yes. Now, so the second thing is, the first thing is that if you want to be a good speaker, you have to understand different kinds of speaking. Now, we talked about this one and then we got disconnected. So I will just repeat it again. If you see kinds of speaking, there are different kinds of speaking. Like, for example, number one is interactive face-to-face communication, when you are sitting with somebody and you're talking to them, face-to-face communication, and you are like, they're asking you question at the same time, you can see them. And then there is another one, is the partially interactive speaking, the way we are doing it right now, right? That we are not face to face, you cannot see me, you can just hear me, okay? And I can hear you as well, I can get the feedback. Do you get it? Right?
Yes,
When
sir.
you
Yes, sir.
say yes, sir. So it's kind of partially interactive session, right? That I'm delivering a lecture and you're giving me these feedback. So this is partially interactive. And then there is another one, is the non-interactive. Non-interactive is when there is no interaction, right? Like the audience, okay, you don't see the audience, you don't get the feedback. Like, for example, I give you example that day on the radio, when you're listening to the radio. Now the that anchor or the disc jockey who is talking to, who is on air, he is, that is called non-interactive speaking, right? Do you get it? So you should
Yes,
understand
sir.
what type of speaking you follow, right? And then there are different strategies, right? So if you are talking to somebody face to face, right? So the body expression really matters, the facial expression really matters, the gestures, the postures. So the body language is also involved in speaking as well, right? And then partially interactive sessions need different kind of strategies, or the non-interactive speaking again have different strategies. So if another thing which is very important is the five different types of presentation. So if you see, whenever you talk to somebody, that is basically a presentation, right? That what is basically a presentation is that how you present yourself, right? When you're talking to somebody, you are presenting, okay? Even if you're not talking to somebody, like the way you move, the way you walk, it's also called presentation. So like, why do we do these different kinds of presentation? Number one is to inform audience, that can be the one purpose. The second can be to educate your audience. Sometimes you have like different purposes when you speak to people. Like, for example, when you go to the class and you talk to your friends, okay, what is your purpose when you are talking to your friend? And what is your purpose when you are talking to your teacher, right? What is your purpose when you are talking to your father, right? So there are different purposes or different types of presentation. If you see, number one is to inform your audience, right? That you have some instruction and you are just informing your audience, right? Like, what can I say? Like, for example, when the chief proctor comes to your class and he informs you about different rules, that is called informing the audience. Or, for example, right now I'm talking to you and I'm presenting, I'm delivering this lecture. So what is my purpose? My purpose is to educate you, right? To educate the audience. You are the audience. Another can be to persuade the audience, right? See, in these businesses, these salesmen, what they do is that they talk to you, they talk to the customers in order to persuade or convince them. I hope you are understanding, right? If there is any question, you can stop me and ask me if there is any confusion. But I think it's clear and we talked about this one, right?
Yes, sir. It's
Yes,
Yes,
clear,
sir.
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 There
It
can
is
be
clear.
another presentation is to solve problems, right? Like sometimes you have a problem in the company or in any organization or in your family, and you talk to somebody in order to solve some problem. So again, if you know these different purposes, you will be in a better position to select the strategies for that speaking, because every speaking is different, right? If you see the last one is to inspire. Sometimes people ask you to come to the stage and talk to the audience, right? And they ask you to inspire them, right? Like, for example, if you see all these celebrities, right? They come on the stage, and when, like, for example, these political leaders, what they do is that they inspire people while delivering their speech, right? Do you know anybody who has inspired you? Can you name them if you have listened to them and they have inspired you through their
Manzoor Pashtun.
Manzoor
Manzoor Pashtun,
Pashtun?
sir.
Very good.
Yes,
Yes,
sir. Imran Khan.
very good.
Our
Imran
Captain
Khan.
Imran Khan.
Yes. So see, when if
Yes,
you
sir.
see
Sir
his
Manzoor Bashteen.
yes, yes, of course, you're right. So see the way I'm talking to you right now and the way they are talking to you. I mean, we both are talking, but our purposes are different. So our word of choice, our sentence structure, and everything is like different, right? Like the language is different sometimes. If you see uh, and again, the audience is very important, that you have to understand the audience to inspire them. Like, for example, if you are talking to older people, you need different sentence structure, you need different vocabulary, you need different style to talk to them. But when you talk to younger younger people, you talk to them in a different way. So again, understanding the audience is very, very important. But for now, you should understand what is your purpose. Like if you see this first one, okay, just give me a minute, right? Here we can also say that to entertain somebody, right? To entertain somebody means, like, for example, if there are people that they come on the stage and they make you laugh. For example, all these actors, when they talk to you, right, when they speak to you, what is their purpose is to just entertain you, just make you smile or make you laugh. So there are
Sir,
different
stand-up
purposes.
comedian, sir.
Yes, stand-up comedians, very good. Yes, of course, I'm talking about stand-up comedians. So see, they have a very good kind of presentation. So why their presentation is good? Because the first and the most important thing is that they know their purpose. They know why are they talking to you. So if you don't know your purpose, right, then why are you talking to certain audience? uh, that will be a problem, right? So first, most important thing is that you have to understand what your purpose is, and then you will be in a better position to present effectively, right? Got it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So yes,
Yes,
now
sir. Got it.
once
Yes, sir.
once you know that fluency is important, vocabulary is important, and for example, if you are fluent, right? Like there are people, there are students that that they are fluent, so they don't have any problem with fluency. There are people that they don't have any problem with the vocabulary. Their vocabulary is very strong. There are students that their grammar is very good, right? Like, for example, if you see these government school students, right? They have vocabulary, enough vocabulary. Their sentence structure is very good, right? These two. But if you see their fluency is not very good. Why? Because they have not practiced speaking, right? In government school, if you see, even the teachers, they talked in Pashto. In the class, even they talked in Pashto. So they have not practiced their speakings. Like they don't speak every day in the class or in the school or at homes. So they really have problem with this. They are not comfortable speaking, right? So they are weak in. They are not very good. They are not good. Like they don't have a good fluency, or they are not fluent, right? Again, there are people that they speak English at their home, right? like with their parents they speak English, with their friends they speak English, so they are very fluent. But again, they have a problem with the grammar structure, so sometimes they make uh, grammatical mistakes and they don't even know that, right? So it varies, right? Some people are very fluent, some have strong vocabulary, but in order to be a good speaker, you need to understand that all these really matters. Fluency matters, vocabulary matters, grammar matters, and pronunciation matters. I will just give you one advice is that forget about fluency, forget about pronunciation. It comes with the time, with the experience. You should focus on these two, vocabulary and grammar. And the other, the fluency, the pronunciation, it comes itself, right? If you know this grammar or vocabulary, so later on you will develop this fluency. Okay, so once you know that these are important, and then you know the purpose, right? If you know what kind of presentation it is, and if you know what type of presentation it is, so then if you want to prepare, okay, a presentation, so then you should know these skills, right? So we talked about this one, I guess. These are the some phrases that I've written that it will help you. So whenever you're talking to somebody, okay, or if your teacher have given you a presentation, right? Or for example, the teacher asks you to come to the stage like the way I did in the class, that every day I would ask you to come to the stage and talk to the students. So now these things, right? These points will help you uh, be a good speaker, right? Number one is prepare and practice. You already know that, right? So if you practice, you will be a good speaker. Know what you want. Again, that is very important. Like we talked about this purposes, right? That what is your purpose? If you are 100% sure that what you want, again, it will help you in speaking. Know your audience. It really matters, like what your audience are, what they like, what is their age. Okay, so if you know what is their culture, right? What are their values? If you know what is their, what are their, like, what is their religion? If you know all these things, you will be a good speaker, right? And you will be able to convince them, okay, persuade them in a better way. So if you don't know their culture, you may say something which can offend them, right? So knowing their culture, knowing their interests, know their age, uh, this will really help you in your presentation and in your speaking. Find out what your interests, what your listeners want. Again, this is very important, that what they want, so you will talk accordingly, right? Because mostly what happens is that you don't know your audience and you come and talk to them in certain way. Now whatever you have prepared, it's 100% correct. You have practiced it, you have prepared it, you know what you want to say. But if you don't know what your listeners want, that will be a problem. They will get bored, right? They will not listen to you attentively. Why? Because this is human nature, right? If whatever they want and you're not talking about that, what will happen? They will get bored, right? They will not even listen to you. Do you understand me?
Yes,
Right?
sir.
So
Yes, little bit.
I also know you guys, when I just like teach you these things, you get bored, right? So sometimes in the middle I say a joke.
No, sir.
Yes, I know. I was just giving you an example, right? So yeah, sometimes we should like, I know that you are like, you are young students, right? Sometimes you get bored, so that's why in the
Yeah.
middle sometimes I tell you a joke. Okay, another one is control your fear. Yes, we talked about this one, is that stage fright. If you remember that fear, right? Like public speaking is always very difficult, right? Like many people say that I feel nervous while talking to people. Of course, this is very normal, right? Normal people will always have this fear when you ask them to come to the stage and talk. So for, but if they are, but if they have experience, in the beginning, what will happen to them is that they will get nervous, but then they know how to control that fear, how to overcome that anxiety or nervousness. You remember we read an article about this one, the stage fright. You remember it, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir. I
Yes, sir.
remember
Like
it.
that writer was telling us his story, that one when he was interviewing people in the beginning, he was nervous and he has this butterflies in the stomach, and these like he
Exactly,
would
exactly.
not
Yes,
feel
sir.
good. And later on what happens is, with the experience, he learned it, and later on he started enjoying it, right? So this public speaking, if you see in the beginning, you will have this nervousness or this anxiety while going to on the stage. But later on, if you practice it, right, and with the passage of time, with the experience, you will be comfortable and you will start liking it seriously. Okay. So, okay, stop talking and listen. That is very important. PTM, yes, I know PTM, right? Stop talking and listen, right? That is, again, a very good habit, right? Like some people only talk, they don't listen. So that is not a good attitude, right? So you should also learn how to listen to people, right? Another one is like, I hope you understand this one, right? There are people that they don't listen. I mean, that is a very bad attitude, right? If you don't listen to people, they will not like you. So sometimes you learn how to listen to people, right? Do you get my point,
Yes.
right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And
Sir.
then believe in your message is also, yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you clicked on the same link, right? I don't need to send you another one.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Okay,
good.
sir. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so message in the group that they can click on the same link and they can join, right? Okay, so
Yes, sir.
I think let me admit everybody and then. So if you have any
Welcome back.
questions, you can ask me. If there is any question, you can ask me. Shabas. Is there any question? Yes? Let me admit all these students and then we'll start again. So for now, if there is anything confusing or if there is any question you want to ask or if there is anything you want to add to this, you can ask me. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Sir, this topic was easy.
Yes, this topic is easy. Yes, I understand. But no, there are some other things that you will learn, right? And you will find it a little bit difficult. So in exams, they can ask you these things, right? Like if they ask you this one, that what are the speaking skills? How can you be a good speaker? So you will write all these, right? That be prepare and practice. So you can write one paragraph on each one, right? Like you can say, well, knowing the audience is very important. If you know the audience, you will be able to convince them, you will be able to use words which they know, right? So it will help you. Like
Yes,
this
sir.
will be a kind of essay that they can ask you to write an
Sir,
essay. How
how many lines we should write on these topics?
GG, what?
How many lines we should write
Well, that
on the,
depends, right? No, that depends really, right? Like if you get a question, 10 marks question, right? So you should write 200 words, right? So like
okay, sir.
even one sentence is sometimes enough, or two or three or four, right? So that is essay writing basically, that how you write it in a essay form. Okay. So yes, control your fear, right? The stage fright, we talked about it. Stop talking and listen. Okay, right? We talked about this one. Okay, believe in your message. What does this mean? Can you answer me? Can anybody tell me what does this mean? Believe in your message. Yes.
Yes, sir. For
Like how can
example,
it help
if,
you in speaking? If you believe in your message, what
sir,
does it mean? Yes, yes.
Because if we don't believe on our message, so people will not convince.
Very good. People will not be convinced. Excellent, right? Like
Yeah.
if you see this Imran Khan's speech, like he believes in his message all the time. So even if he is saying something which doesn't make sense, but the way he says it, right, it really affects people and people
With
start believing in
confidence.
him. Why? Because he
Sir,
believes in the
sir,
message. Yes.
it
Sir,
simply means, sir, it
Uh,
simply means that what are we saying? We should be confident in this.
yes, you should be confident and you should believe in that message means that you should believe it to be true,
Yes, sir.
right? If you consider it true, like for example, if you are selling something
Yes,
and
sir.
you think that product is not good, right? So you cannot be a good speaker, or you will not be able to convince people, right? But if you think that product is good, if you believe in that product, you will be able to convince people. If you don't, if you're not convinced yourself, how can you convince other, right? So believe in your
sir,
yes, yes.
sir, how can we convey it to others if we don't believe or understand it ourselves, sir?
Very good, very good. But yes, there are people who do not believe in their message, but they still can convince people. Like for example, if you see on the TV, all these politicians, when they say something, sometimes even you know it that they what they are saying is wrong, right? And they know it themselves, but the way they say it, right, they have practiced it so much. Like all these salesmen, right, they sell product. You go to a shop and the way they convince you, see, they know that they are lying. So but that is not a good thing, right? We should not do that. But again, it will help you if you
But
believe
it
in
is a
your message.
skill, sir.
But yes, of course, this is a skill. People learn this, but this is not good. It will be very difficult for me. If you ask me, it's always very difficult for me to talk about certain things which I don't believe in, right? Like, how can I do that, right? Okay, think before you talk. Okay, a very famous saying,
Yes, sir.
all right? Okay,
Sir, this is a skill, but
yes, but what? Yes, like I just asked you who inspired you, and you said Manzir Pishtine or Imran Khan or all these people you mentioned. Now, why did you say it? Because whatever they say, they believe in that message and they are very honest and sincere about that thing. That's why you start believing in them, because you think that whatever they are telling you is the truth, okay? And you believe in them because you find them honest, okay? The way they are
but
talking. So that is the reason. Yes? Yo,
this is
hello. Yes, I'm here now. Sorry, I got disconnected, right? I'm here now.
no problem. No problem, sir.
Okay. So, yes. Okay. So, if you see, okay, keep it short and simple. Again, very simple, right? Repeat major points, interact with your audience, speak with sincerity and passion, close your speech in a memorable way, talk to the entire group if it is a meeting, right? Like you should reach out to all the people in the group, right? Not just one, concentrate on one. You should talk to everybody. Okay, reach out and encourage feedback. This really helps you. Okay, so okay, let me talk about this barriers of effective speaking, right? What are the barriers? What are the problems that you face while speaking to the public? Okay, or public speaking barriers, right? So what are the problems? Number one is the stage fright. We already talked about it, right? How to reduce the stage fright. There are different strategies. It helped different people, that how can they reduce the stage fright. Okay, again, we talked about it, but still, if you have a stage fright, and you want to reduce it, right, you should ask me, or you should go and search it on internet, and you should find a way how to reduce that stage fright. Again, there are certain strategies that will help you. Okay, lack of knowledge about the audience. Again, we talked about it. If you don't know the audience, that is the big problem, right? That you will not be able to speak effectively if you don't know the audience. Okay, lack of knowledge about the topic. Again, very important. If you don't know the topic, how can you talk about it, right? Like, for example, if you ask me to talk about chemistry, right? So I don't know about that topic, I will not be able to talk, right? If you ask me about talk about grammar, I can talk about grammar. I can talk about different literature topic or linguistic topics. Why? Because this is my field, this is my topic, and I'm good at it, right? If you remember, I gave you that, I told you the story of this Nawaz Sharif. You remember it, right? That once, like, if you don't know about the topic, you will not be in a better way to speak, right? Do you get it? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Another thing is the improper dress code. It really matters, right? Like, for example, if you go to a formal uh, gathering, right, and you are wearing an informal dress, or if you, whatever you are wearing, and if you're not feeling comfortable in while in that dress, it will also really affect your speaking, right? So wearing a comfortable and like, if you're going to a formal gathering, you need to wear formal dressing, and when you are meeting your friends, you need to wear informal dressing. So dress code really matters, right? Got it? I hope you
Yes,
understand that,
sir.
right? Okay,
Yes, sir. Bilkul.
improper time management.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that is very important, right? That you need to manage time. Time is really very important. Like, I should see, I'm talking to you guys and I'm looking at the time. Okay, so we have 30 minutes. So, like, it really helps me to manage the time, right? So managing time is very, very important. Another thing is improper vocal behavior. Can you give me example of this improper vocal behavior? Yes.
Being
Like
rude.
the
Speaking loud.
sounds you're making, sometimes your sounds, this behavior is like, for example, some people see and they say right, or they are making these different kind of improper vocal behaviors, right, sounds that that really makes the audience bored, okay, or they get irritated by those vocal sounds. So yes,
Sir, it is
inadequate
due to the
audio.
lack of fluency, sir. Is it?
Yeah,
Yes,
not
exactly. It's lack
fluency.
of
No, no. Like, for example, let me give you an example. Have you listened to this Ghulam Bilor? Right?
no, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
I should not say it. He's old, right? I really like him so much. But if you see his like, his sound is not very clear. See, the way he
Yes,
speaks,
sir.
you don't
His voice
understand.
is not very clear.
Yes, so
Yes,
that is
sir.
something natural, right? Some people have a very good vocal sound, right? So that is what I meant. But vocal behavior is, again, that they make certain sounds while talking to people, and that is very annoying, right? Got it?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Muhammad Hamza raised his
Yes, sir.
hand. Do you want to ask a question? Yes. Okay. Inadequate audio or visual support. See, we are talking, and sometimes we like get disconnected. So what happens is that that is inadequate audio. You don't listen properly. Sometimes when you ask me a question and your voice is breaking, again, that is a problem. Anxiety and nervousness is again a problem. Again, I think we talked about it. Anxiety and nervousness is again a problem. Language anxiety, right? What is language anxiety, right? Yes. Like, I know in the class there are certain people that they know the answer when I ask a question, but they cannot answer that question. Why? Because they have this language anxiety. They think that they will speak incorrect and people will laugh at them. So that really
Yes, sir.
is a problem, right? Like, for example, if you see this Bilal Zardari, right? His Urdu is not very good, right? So he must have this language anxiety. That's why he makes these mistakes while speaking. Okay, and what happens is that then people make fun of him, right? Like the way he said this, "Barish hoti hai ki hota hai, or pani aata hai," something like that, right? So that
Imran
language,
Khan Sahiba.
Yes, sir.
yes. So
Sir,
yes,
Imran Khan Sahiba.
yes, even Imran Khan, if you see when he was taking this oath, right? So he is again, and maybe he's not good in Urdu, right? Or reading Urdu from the page,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So when he was doing that, that was a language anxiety. Just go and watch that oath taking ceremony of Imran Khan. See
Sir,
how
Khatimul
confident.
Nabiyeen, sir.
Yes, Khatimul Nabiyeen. He could not pronounce it, right? He knows it, right? Or another thing is that how confident he is, but when he said it wrong, you see his expression, right? That there he felt nervousness, anxiety, and that is called language anxiety. Okay. Another one is low self-esteem. Do you know what is low self-esteem? Yes. Can anybody tell me this one? Low
No, sir.
self-esteem. Like low
Self-respect, sir,
Not
self-esteem.
low.
believing in yourself, sir.
G? Yes?
Not believing in yourself, sir.
Yes. Self-worth, right? Or personal value, right? Like if you have a high self-esteem, or like, for example, if you have a low self-esteem, you don't think that you are worthy, right? You think low of yourself, right? Like you think that I'm not worthy of anything, right? Of anything specific, right? Or personal values. So it really is like kind of that you go into this, you feel inferiority complex, and that's why you cannot, it really affects your speaking. And then social anxiety. There are people that they have the social anxiety. Do you know social anxiety? Right? Have you ever felt social anxiety? Like what is social anxiety? That there are people that they cannot go, like they are very introvert, right? That they don't like to meet people, or going to gatherings or parties, right? So social anxiety really affects your speaking. I hope you're not getting bored. Should I continue or should I stop it here?
No, sir. Continue.
Okay.
Yes, sir, you should continue.
Right. Okay. So these are some habits that we will talk. Like, for example, if you want to be a good speaker, okay, or let me ask you a few things. Let me see whether everybody is here or not. Maybe you have just turned on or the computer or the laptop and you have gone. Malik Mahmood, are you there? Just give me feedback. Malik Mahmood. See, he's not here. He is here, but he's not here. Okay, Nofil Arbab.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, I am here.
Very good. Okay,
Sir,
Safiullah.
this is the digital way of bunking the class.
No, I'm seriously. So that's why I
Yes,
just
sir.
thought that everybody is so
He
quiet.
is a digital bunker, sir.
Okay, okay.
I am here,
Khushbakht,
sir.
Khushbakht
Yes,
Ali.
sir.
Khushbakht, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, or
Sir.
Sitara Hussain. See,
Yes.
she's here, Sitara Hussain. Yes.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay, Hasnain Maz, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Everybody just, if you are there, just say hello. Just say hello. Everybody.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hello,
Hello, sir.
sir.
Hello.
Hello,
Yes,
sir.
very good.
Hello, sir.
Everybody.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Aisha Farouk, are you there?
Present, sir.
Yes. Right. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I think everybody is here, right?
Sir,
Yes,
Hello.
yes.
sir,
Okay, I got
I
it.
really,
I got it. Stop it now. I know you all are here, right? So yes, if you say, how can
Sir,
I?
I'm here.
Yes, I know everybody is here. Okay. So these are some habits, okay, that you should know if you are a good speaker, right? If you want that people love you, right? Okay, and you want to be a good speaker, you should avoid these 7 or 6 habits, right? So if you see bad speakers and their habits, now number one is gossiping. Do you know what gossiping means? Yes. Yes. Again. Hello. Are you there?
fun, fun.
Like, yes, some people have this problem of gossiping, right? That they gossip all the time. So what is gossiping? If you have these
Backbiting, sir.
habits,
Backbiting.
very good, backbiting, that they speak badly of people, right? Right? That they always talk against people. This is a bad habit. So gossiping is a bad habit, right? Talking badly of people, okay, seems to have a chain reaction, right? That people will also talk against you, or backbiting, right? Judging, again, that is a very bad habit, okay? If you judge people, so if you judge people, what will happen is that people will not open to you, right? Like, what will happen is that they will shut down completely, like they will not talk to you, they will not trust you if you judge people all the time. So you should not be judging, okay? Yes, just give me a little feedback so that you are here, right?
Yes,
Can you
sir.
get it?
Overgeneralizing fact.
Sir, prejudice.
Yes, prejudice, right? Or judging people, right? That there are certain people that they judge all the time. Like whenever you meet them, they judge you. Okay. So like if you judge people, what will happen is that they will not trust you and they will not open to you, right? Another thing is being negative, right? If you are pessimist, if you are not optimist, what will happen is that, again, this is a very negative negative habit. There are people that they are very pessimist, they always talk negative, right? And then there are people that they are very positive, they are like, for example, they are very optimistic. You see this Imran Khan, the quality of Imran Khan is that he is always very optimistic. So you should be positive, not negative, right? Another one is complaining. See, this one is a very bad habit. Know that there are certain people that they complain all the time, right? Like if you talk to them and you tell him, how is life going? And they tell you, well, it's very bad, I have this problem, I
Yes,
have this issue, and I have this
But
issue. You
we
ask
hear
them, how do
nothing.
you feel, right? And you say, well, I don't feel good, I have headache, and I have,
Kurnu Baji.
I'm not happy, I don't have money, I don't have job, like I have job problem. So they always complain about the government, about people, about different things. Do you get it? Do you know any person
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
who is having this habit of complaining? So you should not complain, remember, because when, like, yes,
Yes,
there are
sir.
times that
My
people complain.
grandmother.
See?
My grandmother. My
Yes.
grandmother always says that. يا بس ولا دردنا دي بملام
No,
دردي
बस
وبداسي
बूढ़े
دي.
شوي भाई
Deka basti
पंजाबी
basti
that is,
kalarsha kalarsha.
no,
Bas
whatever
بدي
you
يخلور
say.
للاس كيدي دي له
Yes.
بدي يخلور للاس كيدي
See,
Badi khlo wala
when you start
Yeah,
talking like this,
really.
hello, when you talk like when you start talking like this, then this, there I come to know that you are getting bored. So you want like You want time for relaxation, right? Yes.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
yes,
sir.
when these old people complain
Sir,
about
today
health,
is Friday.
yes, that is why there is this adjective that people say that he's a old grumpy man, right? A old grumpy is that he always complain and like kind of irritating, right? Like he irritates people by complaining all the time. Okay. Now, if I see like I see these videos on the TV or on the internet, these Pathan people, they are also very complaining. Like, for example, if you see whenever an anchor goes to them and interview them and they ask them that how is your village, what do you want to tell to the government, they always complain that the government has not built this road and we don't have facilities here, and the government should provide us this, and they always complain, right? Okay, make excuses again, this is not a good behavior. Okay, some people are like exaggerating things. Exaggerating means overstating things, right? And if you are exaggerating all the time, it means you are lying, so that is not a good habit. Or being dogmatic. Okay, or do you get it? Should I I think you understand this one,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Like if you are
Yeah.
arrogant, if you are arrogant, right?
Yeah.
Or
Un-
authoritative, that is again a bad habit. So you should avoid these 6 7 bad habits, and it will make you a good speaker, right? Now, this is something technical, right? Now, we'll talk about this one. And in exams, they will, or they might ask you these things. We still have time, right? Do we have time? Should I continue?
No, sir. Sir, time
Huh?
is
Yes,
complete,
sir.
Let
sir.
it finish,
Take
sir.
time,
Let
sir.
it finish.
No, sir. No, sir. Take
Sir,
attendance, sir.
pre
Sir, you have
We will
just 30
continue tomorrow.
seconds.
बस गए सर जी
I have
Uh,
sir,
30
previous
seconds. Okay,
class,
we'll talk
40
about
minutes.
tomorrow then, right?
Okay, sir, but just
Okay,
Okay,
take
because
sir.
sir.
because this is something a little bit technical. Okay, this tempo or voice or intonation, because in exams they might ask you about these things, so we'll talk about this tomorrow, right?
okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes. So is there any question you want to ask me?
Yes, sir. Sir,
What?
सर ये टॉपिक हमें ग्रुप में सेंड कर दे फिर
Yes, I will send you.
ये
Yes, is
स्क्रीन जो है
okay, okay, fine.